Salutations everyone, and welcome to What Mattered, the show where I tell you what mattered in the news this week. Finally, we have a great video game movie story. We're getting an Angry Birds 2, because the first one did so well. Hey, I mean, what's good for them is good for the rest of the prospects, am I right? Pokemon Go got a new update this week, which added appraisals where your respective team leaders will tell you how good your Pokemon is, or at least narrow it down to a specific bracket of how your IVs look on this specific Pokemon, which also helps to narrow down the possibilities on the Poke Assistant website and all other apps to calculate IVs. Now, if your Pokemon team leader says that they are breathtaking, can accomplish anything, or can do really good in battle, then that means they're in the 80 to 100% IV range. So this can help narrow things down to see which Pokemon you want to evolve, or at the very least keep next time you drop a lucky egg. And hopefully we'll get some new news. The game seems pretty stable at this point. We know that the whole Pokestop nearby thing is in beta at the moment, so that update I think should be coming relatively soon. And maybe we'll have some events by the end of the year. The sad story that is Tom Clancy's The Division has gotten a little bit sadder. The DLC is being pushed back a little bit. It's supposed to be coming out in September and then another at the end of the year. Well, now this will be pushed over to October, and it looks like the third DLC will have to go to 2017. Now, they said that they really want to focus on the core of the game and before they add any additional content. So, of course, this game has been plagued with a lot of bugs, balance issues, and things of that nature. Every new update, they fix something and it breaks another thing. Thus is the nature of a game this big, obviously. So that's really sad. This game at launch was fantastic, had a really good core concept. Story wasn't fantastic, didn't need to be. Multiplayer had its issues, but this game did have a long tail, and they changed things up, adding different weapons and such. But it nonetheless did have a lot of issues with the main portion of the game, so you can understand why they would want to nail things down. But I think it's not really going to help them at this juncture. They do have some good changes in the works that will be coming out in the 1.6 update that was supposed to be coming with the DLC in September, but instead those will now launch separately with such changes such as your camos will no longer take up an inventory space, which was always a really silly thing to begin with. So they'll be fixing little things like that and making the core game much more stable and balanced before the DLC comes out. So hopefully it does work out in the long run for a game that had so much promise but had quite a few unnecessary stumbles. Another week, more Overwatch news. This time the news is we don't have news, but we're really excited when there's gonna be news, especially about the Sombra character, which has been a hot topic, especially this week with the Overwatch Sombra ARG game on augmented reality. People are cracking codes and trying to get that percentage ticker to get much further to see if there's going to be some sort of reveal of some sort at the end. And there were websites and Twitter accounts. It lit the world on fire for about a day about Sombra. And because of this intensity and this augmented reality game, I think we can definitely have reasonable expectations that Sombra will be the next DLC character in the game. That's pretty much without a doubt. Some sort of, female hacker, that's the bare minimum of what we know at this point. There's a lot of things that are still up in the air about backstory and who she may be related to in some sort of sense or another, what kind of El Dorado connection is there. But she's probably going to be the next DLC character, and I would expect her to come out either within the next week before the September 6th update, which is going to give the big hero balance patches as well as the second season of competitive, or it'll come out on the 6th itself, which a lot of people are speculating because that is the update, or they can continue what they did with Ana and have her come out a little bit after the season starts. So definitely going to be our next character. Most likely going to be out in the next month, I would say, is a pretty safe bet. And that's really cool because we just got Ana, not that long ago in July. So, man, this Overwatch is a pretty polarizing game. Speaking of new free characters, Battleborn got another new character this week, and it's a pink penguin, so who needs Sombra? We got a pink penguin with a grenade launcher. What's cooler than that? They also revealed what the next new free character is going to look like. You guys remember Battleborn? It was that game that had a bit of hype coming out of 2K, had a good strong beta, and then Overwatch happened and it kind of just floated into obscurity. They dropped the price to $40 when Overwatch came out, even though Battleborn had only been out for like a week and a half. And its player base has fallen off significantly due to, many people would speculate, the competition of other first-person shooters out there. And some people still play it. I think it's a fun game, and I definitely would be playing it more often if it weren't for that insanely awesome game Overwatch. So there's still 1,000 people playing at a time, and more free content. So the first of the 2 Titanfall tech tests was last weekend, and we have a current one going on right now to Sunday. And there was a lot of negative feedback, understandably so, if you have played it and maybe you enjoyed some aspects of the first game. So they're going to make a lot of changes with this secondary tech test, which is pre-alpha, so one can speculate that this build is probably at least a month old. This isn't the current model of the game as it stands. They're working on it right now. There's definitely some graphical issues if you played the first tech test last weekend. And yeah, I didn't play a lot of it, and I wanted to have a more of an informed opinion about the Titanfall tech test pre-alpha before I made a video about it. But what I did experience was a not so fun first tech test weekend where understandably people said that the pilots were really slow and they didn't like that, so they're changing the movements. They also have a new map that's much more like the first Titanfall, which has more wall running and stuff like that. A lot of people really like the grapple hook edition. The weapon balance is very, very bad. The car SMG makes its return, and it didn't need to be stronger, but people are hip firing across the map, killing in 3 bullets. Ridiculous shit that shouldn't have been even possible in a pre-alpha build, if you ask me. So they're also changing the way that Titans are called in. During the first tech test, they made the change from Titanfall 1 to you can only get your Titanfall meter when you were playing the objective, but now there will be a passive all ever growing meter. So now more Titans are going to be dropping as happened in the first game, which you might have different opinions about. I don't know, it's kind of hard to find that nice little Goldilocks zone about having too many Titans or not having enough Titans, rewarding people for playing the objective, and for people to just have fun in the way that they want, especially if they were used to such ways in the first title. So we're going to try to test out what this second tech test has for it, and then have an informed opinion later on in the week about what Titanfall 2 can do. So Sony's big secret's out. Here's the PS4 Slim. Some dude got it from shady reasons, or he bought it from a guy who got it for shady reasons. Either way, he had it and he showed it to everybody, and a lot of people are like, yeah, that's the real deal. So cat's out of the bag for Sony. And they're going to have some sort of announcement with, we knew, PlayStation Neo, but there was nothing about a Slim that was, even in the rumor mill. So, and this wasn't marketed as a PS4 Slim, so I don't know if this is going to be, taking the place of the current PS4 model. They're going to be phasing that out in favor of this one. It's not like, it doesn't have like 4K output or anything like that, but it's a legit PS4, absolutely works. It is smaller. Pretty significant if you look at the side-by-side comparisons. So we're going to have to wait and see, what Sony's plan is, see what the Neo is, what that looks like, see if this is going to be phasing out the current model, and it definitely looks like it's going to have a smaller price point than the PS4 currently has. So if you're thinking about buying a PS4, I would definitely hold off. Maybe you want to see if you want the Neo instead, or if you're going to buy one, you're probably going to have to wait for this price drop and a slimmer model. So hopefully that all works out for Sony, because we know about this one now, so they're going to have to do something different to surprise us. Your free games for gold for September go as follows. For the Xbox One, you'll be getting Earthlock, Festival of Magic for the first half of the month, and the second half of the month you'll be getting Assassin's Creed Chronicles China. And on the 360 as well as Xbox One via backwards compatibility will be Forza Horizon and Mirror's Edge. So it's pretty solid titles there. No word on the PS Plus lineup for September, but that should be coming out in the next couple of days, so just keep an eye out. Anywho, Neil Blowfish, that is what mattered this week. If you want to know what matters in the future, hit the subscribe button, follow this channel. One of these comes out every single Saturday to keep you informed on what mattered in the week. Thank you all for watching. All comments and likes and subscribes are appreciated, and I'll see you all next time.